Lady from Minnesota, this lady from Minnesota, um, has raised over $600,000 because she called a little 5-year-old boy in the park the N word. And as a result, she called this little 5-year-old boy. She claimed the little boy was trying to steal her baby's toy. And she called the little boy, 5 years old now, called the little boy the N word, called him the N word, and lost her job, which she should have. So she should have. And now she's trying to raise, or she already done raised. She raised $600,000 um, that people have donated, put her a GoFundMe to cover expenses because she said she's been getting threats and she might have to move and now she need money and because she don't have a job and all this kind of stuff. But do the mama of the little boy get any money? You know, the little boy might have to have therapy now because he's been called the N word. Is the little boy going? What about the little boy that she called the N word? He may need therapy now because she called him the N word. I don't know why do white people think it's okay to just throw that word around? Why do they think it's okay to? Why would you think it's okay to call a 5-year-old child? And they said the child is autistic. I mean, I have to raise the question like, where were the parents? Why was he taking other children's toys? Where were the parents? How come the parents wasn't watching him? I have to raise that question because he's just a 5-year-old little boy. A 5-year-old child is supposed to be supervised. So a 5-year-old child, you should be watching and making sure that they're not taking other children's toys. So I have to raise the question that, okay, where was his mother, father, or just either one of the parents when this child was taking the toy? But that does not justify. No, it's not okay for children to take other children's toys. But it's not okay. You don't get to call a 5-year-old child the N word. You do not get to call a 5-year-old child the N word. So, like, where is the money for therapy for the little boy to get therapy? Because he's going to need it now. He may need it now because that's trauma. Because he got called the N word. That's very traumatizing. White people don't realize how traumatizing that word is. And that's why they shouldn't be letting it come out of their mouth. And some black people are defending her. There are some black people that are defending it, saying that black people say it all the time. It don't matter. Black people shouldn't be saying that word either because it's got too much of our people's blood on it. That word's got too much of our people's blood on it. So black people have no business using it either. I don't care if you put the A on the end. I make a serious effort to not try really hard to not use that word. Every now and then it slips out. But I try really, really hard to not use that word. Because black people say, well, we reclaiming it. No, 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 no. That word got too much of our people blood on it. You know how many black people have lost their lives because of that word? And our people are still dying because of that word. That word got too much of our people blood on it. And nobody, I mean nobody, should be using that word. I'm kind of passionate about that. And she definitely has no business calling a 5-year-old child that. Because now that child could be traumatized. Like I said, where's the GoFundMe? How come black people ain't raising up a GoFundMe for that baby to get therapy? Now he may not realize how bad that word is, but what about the parents? The parents is gonna has to have some trauma. I think if somebody came up to my child and called my child the N word, that would be kind of traumatizing for me. How come they're not getting black people not should be raising a GoFundMe for them to get some money? How did she get $600,000? How are you getting rewarded for calling a child the N-word? How are you getting rewarded for that? And that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes about the mindset in this country, that we still have a lot of racist people in this country. And then you notice, if you notice, last time Trump was in office, he put a battery in the racist white people's back, and then this. Now you're hearing it's not just that incident. I've been hearing all kinds of incidents. This is YouTube channel. It's called Indisputable Facts. Check it out. Um, I forget the guy's name. The channel is called Indisputable Facts, and he does a really good job of talking about these different racist these racist cases. He does a really, really good job of that. And he does several videos a day. And now it's getting to the point to where it's just the videos are just popping up in my recommendations. And I just find myself watching them, because he does several videos a day. He does really, really a good job of talking about these cases. More and more white people are starting to they're because Trump is back in office, so they're bold. And so there now you got a chance to we get a chance to see who they are. We're getting a chance to see who they are and who these people really are. And what we're realizing is that we're still dealing with a lot of racist people in this country, that times really ain't really changed all that much. When you think about different things that's happening, it's still like black people are still being unalived and beaten by the police. He just talked about a case the other day where these cops called themselves raiding these black guys' house, and they went in and they tortured them. They committed sexual acts with them. They handcuffed them. Yeah, they did all kind of they did all kind of stuff to these three black guys. And he was just talking about that the other day. I think this was somewhere down south. So it was 4 police officers, and they got arrested in the whole 9 yards. But I'm hearing more and more of these cases of these white racists coming out since Trump has been in office. And these white people are getting bolder, and they're coming out just in public places, want to call black people the N-word and all this kind of stuff. I seen there was one case where this white security guard was just hitting this black woman. She was just hitting her. And then the black men stood around and watched it. They stood around and watched it and didn't even do nothing about it. Didn't even try to stop them or nothing. So I mean, yeah, I've been hearing about these different things. I just haven't been talking about it on here. Because if I did, I'd be talking about it every day. But it just amazes me. It just amazes me that of all the racism that's still really, really thick in this country. And that's what I was talking about in my other video. I might link that one up to this one, where I was talking about that couple that the black guy was with the white girl and was bashing black women and stuff, and she come to find out she unalived them. They got into an argument at the club, and she come home, called herself trying to clean her gun. She this is what she said allegedly. She's cleaning her gun, and the gun actually went off and shot him. And that video where I'm talking about that, and I was saying that as I have always said on here, that people are not better or worse because of their race. Like, how, because of the history between black and white people, how are y'all going around thinking that white folks is better than black people? It's like it comes down to judging the person by the content of their character. I've always made that point on here. And so I don't understand how black people with the history of the racism and the racism that's still really thick in this country, and then the racist president that we have and his racist minions that's um, going around trying to assault black people, going around trying to harass black people, these Karens that want to call little 5-year-old boys, black boys, the N-word, these racist Karens. With all these cases coming up, how can y'all think that they're better? How, with all these Karens and stuff out here, how can y'all think that they're better people? Yes, there are some good white people out there, but you got to judge people by the content of their character. You can't judge people by their race. Not all black people are bad and all white people are good. You can't be a black person and actually think that. If you're a black person and you actually think that, you need therapy. You need counseling. You need Jesus. Because look at the racism and everything that's still thick and going on in this country. Where we could a little 5-year-old gets called the N-word and she gets rewarded for it. Yeah, they did right by firing her, but because I was on somebody else's channel when they were talking about it, and you don't want to know what I said in the comment section. I said fire. I ain't gonna tell you what else I said. Because racism, if it infuriates me, it really that's racism is one of the things that really makes me angry, and it really infuriates me, because first of all, we don't get to choose our race. I didn't get to say, "Hey, mom," or "Hey, God, make me black." I didn't get a vote. I didn't get a vote. Okay. Nobody gets a vote and gets to choose their race. So it's really stupid to mistreat people according to their race. It's really stupid because people do not get to choose their race. And I think it's really evil, it's demonic, and it's evil to mistreat people based on their race. And if you're a terrible, horrible person if you think it's okay for a woman, and she admitted to calling that baby that. She didn't apologize for nothing. She admitted to calling that baby that. You're a terrible, horrible person if you think that was okay for that woman to call that baby that. You're a horrible person. You're a terrible person if you thought it was all right for her to call that baby that. Why not try finding the parents? Find the parents, because he had to have had a parent there. He's only 5 years old. A 5-year-old child needs to be supervised. So a parent had to be somewhere in the area. Why not try finding his parent and telling his parent, "Look, your child stole my baby's toy." And then what was the issue with her doing that? What was the problem? Is she an idiot? Why not try to find the mother or the father? The parent had to be somewhere in the area, because a 5-year-old is not supposed to be anywhere unsupervised. Okay, so why not try to find the parent and talk to the parent and say, "Look, your child took my child's toy." And talk to the parent. That's the mature way to go about it. Instead of calling this 5-year-old child racial slurs. And then the man, I think it was a Hispanic man, that he sounded like he was Hispanic. And I really appreciate him because he spoke up about it. He said, "Why are you calling this?" Yeah, he confronted her about it. He said, "Why are you calling this baby the N-word?" So I really appreciate him because he spoke up and he let her know that was not okay. And that's what we need more people to do that. We need more people to call out racism. It's not enough to say you a white person. It's not enough to say, "Oh, well, I'm not racist." Nope. not acceptable, not good enough. You need to stand up against it. That means if someone in your family says the N word, you need to say, no, you shouldn't be using that word. We shouldn't be using that word. Or you hear somebody, and I was glad that that guy did that. It's not enough to just say, I'm not a racist. You need to stand up against it. You need to go up and beyond and stand up against it. And you hear someone using that word, or you hear somebody mistreating somebody or harassing somebody because of their race. You need to enter. You need to step in and say, "Hey, look, this is not okay." Okay, that's what y'all need to do. But it's the people that went along with her and agreed with her and sent her money. It doesn't surprise me because that's what we're dealing with in this country. Yeah, that's the world we living in, guys. That's the world we living in. That poor baby. I just pray that and hope that he's not traumatized from that. I'm praying and hope that the parents might have some trauma behind that. It's like my 5-year-old baby got called the N word. I would be messed up behind that. I'd be mad. I'd be very angry. I'd be very upset if someone called my child that. Yeah. Someone called me that, I would be angry. Yeah, well, I've been called that before. Yeah, I've been called that before. What you can't be a black person and been here. If you're a black person, you didn't been here long enough. You have been called that. Um, oh, I was doing a live stream one time and somebody came in and said called me that. Yeah, yeah. So, but I will say this: black people need to stop using that word because when the problem is when we use the word, they think it's okay for them to use the word. When they hear us using the word in our music and stuff like that, then they think it's okay for them to use it, and nobody should be using that word. Nobody. But hit me in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on this case. I know it's been trending all over YouTube. I know you've heard about it. What are your thoughts on this woman getting paid, getting rewarded for calling this baby the N word? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that that child could have some trauma? Parents could have some trauma from it? What are your thoughts on it? You think by Donald Trump being back in office is fueling these racist people? Hit me up in that comment section. Let me know. And hit that like button. And until the next video, you guys be blessed.